The alarm went off in the middle of the night. Captain Jake Morrison woke up fast. He was used to this. When you commanded a warship in deep space, emergencies did not wait for morning. He pulled on his uniform and ran to the bridge. His crew was already there, working at their stations. Lisa Bennett turned around. She was the tactical officer. Her face showed worry. She had been in the military for 10 years, and Jake trusted her completely. If she looked worried, something bad was happening. "Captain, we got a distress signal. It came through the emergency channel. Someone needs help badly," Lisa said. Jake walked to his command chair and sat down. The bridge of the Earth defense ship Valiant was his second home. He knew every screen, every button, every sound the ship made. Right now the screen showed a message that made his stomach tight. "Who sent it?" he asked. "The Volari Coalition, sir. They are under attack. The Kreth Dominion is hitting them with everything they have. The Volari are asking for military help from anyone who can come," Lisa explained. Jake felt cold. The Volari were peaceful people. They were traders and teachers. Their civilization was over 10,000 years old. They had never hurt anyone. The Kreth were different. They were conquerors. They took over planets and enslaved people. They had destroyed 12 civilizations already. "Are they calling everyone?" Jake asked. He hoped other ships were going to help too. "No, sir. The message is for us, for humanity, for our fleet," Lisa said quietly. The bridge went silent. Everyone understood what this meant. The Volari were not asking just anyone. They were asking humans specifically. That was unusual, and it was serious. Daniel Hayes looked up from his station. He was young, only 25, but he was the best pilot Jake had ever seen. His hands were shaking a little. Rachel Turner stopped working on her engineering console. She was tough and never showed fear, but even she looked nervous now. "Play the whole message," Jake ordered. A voice filled the bridge. It was musical and beautiful, but also scared. The computer translated the alien words into English. High Counselor Varen was speaking. He was the leader of the Volari people. "People of Earth, we need your help desperately. The Kreth fleet has broken through our defenses. They are attacking our homeworld right now. We asked the Galactic Council for help, but they only talk and argue. Our cities are burning while they debate. We know about your reputation. You come from a death world. You survived things that would kill most species. We are not asking for mercy. We are asking for your strength. Please help us survive," the voice said. Jake looked at his officers. They all knew what Varen meant. Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world. That meant it was extremely dangerous. Most aliens could not survive on Earth. The gravity was too strong. The weather was too violent. The diseases were too deadly. The predators were too fierce. But humans had evolved there. They had adapted. Humans could take radiation that would kill other species instantly. They could live in frozen wastelands or burning deserts. They healed from terrible injuries. They bonded with each other so strongly that they would die for strangers. Most scary of all, humans never gave up. Once they decided to do something, they kept going no matter what. The galaxy feared humans. They also respected them, and now the Volari were calling for that strength. "How far away are they?" Jake asked. 4 days if we go at maximum speed. The Kreth fleet is already fighting the Volari ships," Daniel reported. "Captain," Lisa said carefully, "if we go help them, we will be starting a war with the Kreth. We do not have permission from Earth Command. We do not have permission from the Galactic Council. This could cause big problems," Jake nodded. She was right. This was against the rules. But he also knew what would happen if they did nothing. An entire civilization would die while bureaucrats argued about paperwork. He had not joined the space fleet to watch innocent people suffer. "Send a message to Fleet Admiral Scott Peterson at Earth Command. Tell him what is happening and what we plan to do. Then send a message to the Volari. Tell them help is coming," Jake said firmly. Lisa smiled. Rachel made a fist and pumped it in the air. Daniel was already working on the navigation computer, finding the fastest route. "All hands, this is the captain," Jake announced over the ship-wide communication system. "We received a distress call from the Volari Coalition. They are under attack. They asked us for help. We are going to their home world immediately. This might be dangerous. This might start a war. Any crew member who wants to stay behind can transfer to the space station. No one will judge you. You will keep your honor and your rank." He waited. His screen would show him if anyone wanted to leave. But no requests came. Not one person out of his 300 crew members chose to stay. Jake felt proud. These were good people. Brave people. Then let us show the galaxy what humans do when friends need help. Take us to maximum speed. Go now, Jake ordered. The Valiant shook as it entered slipstream drive. Space bent around the ship. They were going faster than light now, traveling through a different layer of reality where normal physics did not apply. Earth became distant behind them. Ahead was a battle that would change everything. Later that night, Jake sat in his office. He was reading reports about the Kreth Dominion. Their military was based on overwhelming force. They had huge warships that could destroy planets. They had thousands of small fighter ships. They had weapons designed to terrify enemies. Most civilizations just surrendered when the Kreth arrived because fighting seemed hopeless. But the Kreth had never fought humans before. Jake looked at the information about his own ship. The Valiant was not the biggest ship in the human fleet, but it was very advanced. Human engineers had taken alien technology and made it better. The ship had special armor made from carbon nanotubes that could take incredible impacts. It had railguns that shot projectiles at almost the speed of light. It had plasma cannons that were hot enough to melt through any shield. Most important, it was crewed by humans. People who came from a world that tried to kill them every day. People who had learned to fight back against impossible odds. People who refused to quit. Someone knocked on his door. "Come in," Jake said. Lisa walked in carrying 2 cups of coffee. The smell made Jake smile. Coffee was popular all over the galaxy now. Humans had introduced it to alien species, though most of them had to water it down. For humans, strong coffee was like fuel. "Thought you might need this," Lisa said. She handed him a cup and sat down. "You read my mind. How is the crew doing?" Jake asked. "They are good. Everyone is preparing for battle. Rachel is checking every weapon system twice. Daniel is running combat simulations. The medical team is setting up extra beds. Everyone knows this is going to be hard, but no one is backing down," Lisa reported. "Good. That is what I like to hear," Jake said. He drank some coffee. It was hot and strong and exactly what he needed. "Sir, can I ask you something?" Lisa said. "Always. Do you think we can win? One ship against an entire fleet?" Jake thought about it for a moment. He was honest with Lisa. She deserved that. "I do not know if we can win, but I know we have to try. The Valari asked for help. They put their faith in us. We cannot let them down. Besides, the Kreth expect everyone to be afraid of them. They expect enemies to run away. We are going to show them what happens when they face someone who fights back. We are going to show them what Deathworlders can do," Jake said. Lisa nodded. She finished her coffee and stood up. "Then let us give them a fight they will never forget. I will see you on the bridge, Captain." After she left, Jake sat alone with his thoughts. 4 days until they reached the Valari system. 4 days to prepare. 4 days before they found out if one human ship could make a difference. He looked out the window of his office. Stars streaked past as the ship raced through slipstream space. Somewhere out there, people were dying. Families were being torn apart. A civilization was being destroyed, but help was coming. The humans were coming, and when humans made a promise, they kept it, no matter what it cost. 4 days felt like forever. The crew of the Valiant worked constantly, checking weapons, running drills, and preparing for battle. Everyone knew what was coming. Everyone was ready. When they finally arrived at the Valari system, the scene was worse than anyone expected. Jake stood on the bridge and stared at the screens. His stomach felt sick. The Valari homeworld was surrounded by destruction. Dozens of broken ships drifted through space, torn apart and burning. These had been beautiful vessels once designed for exploration and trade, not war. Now they were just wreckage. The Kreth fleet hung over the planet like a dark storm cloud. Their ships were massive and ugly, built only for destruction. Energy beams flashed between the enemy ships and the few Valari defenders that were still fighting. It was not a fair fight. It was a massacre. "Sir, I am counting 47 Kreth capital ships, plus over 300 smaller vessels. The Valari have maybe 20 ships left that can still fight. They are being destroyed one by one," Daniel reported. His voice was steady, but his hands gripped his controls tightly. "They are taking their time," Lisa observed. She was studying the tactical display. They could finish this quickly, but they are not. They want the Valari on the planet to watch. They want them to see their fleet die. This is about terror, not just victory. Jake felt anger building inside him. He had seen this before in human history. Bullies who did not just want to win. They wanted their victims to feel helpless and hopeless. They wanted complete submission. Everyone to battle stations. Lisa, open a channel to the Kreth fleet, Jake ordered. Captain, are you sure? Rachel asked from engineering. We are one ship. They have hundreds. I am going to give them one chance to leave peacefully. Just one chance. After that we fight, Jake said. The main screen changed. Now it showed a Kreth commander. The alien was huge, at least 8 feet tall. It had thick armor plates covering its body and 6 arms. Its compound eyes glittered as it looked at the humans. It seemed amused. I am Supreme Commander Vorath of the Kreth Dominion. You are interfering with our operation. Leave now or be destroyed with these pathetic weaklings, the alien said. The computer translated its clicking speech into English. Jake stood up slowly. He made sure Vorath could see him clearly. He wanted the alien to see a human face, to see the determination in his eyes. I am Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Ship Valiant. The Volari Coalition asked for our help. We have come to give it. You have 30 seconds to stop your attack and leave this system. If you refuse, we will consider it an act of war against humanity. And we will respond, Jake said calmly. Vorath made a clicking sound that the translator said was laughter. One ship? You threaten the might of the Kreth Dominion with one ship? Your species must be even more foolish than I heard. I will enjoy adding your wreckage to this debris field, Vorath said. Jake smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of a predator that had just found its prey. Your choice. Lisa, cut transmission. All weapons you are authorized to fire at will. Daniel, plot an attack course straight through their formation. Rachel, put all available power to shields and weapons. And somebody send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we are engaging the enemy, Jake commanded. The bridge erupted into action. Every crew member moved with purpose and skill. Years of training took over. The Valiant surged forward, accelerating at speeds that would have crushed most aliens. But humans were built for this. They had evolved on a high-gravity world. This was nothing. Multiple Kreth destroyers moving to intercept. I count about 20 ships heading our way, Lisa called out. Good. Let us show them what one human ship can do. All weapons open fire, Jake ordered. The Valiant fired its railguns first. Solid metal projectiles accelerated to incredible speeds crossed the distance in seconds. The Kreth shields were designed to stop energy weapons. They were nearly useless against kinetic impacts. The first 3 enemy ships exploded immediately, their hulls punctured and their reactors breached. Then the plasma cannons fired. Superheated matter, hotter than the surface of a star, washed over the Kreth formation. Shields collapsed. Metal melted. Ships came apart as their hulls failed. The surviving Kreth ships scattered in panic. They had expected an easy target. Instead, they faced something they had never encountered before. A predator more dangerous than themselves, incoming fire. Brace for impact, Lisa warned. Energy beams and missiles converged on the Valiant. The ship shook under the assault. But the shields held. Human engineers had built them to withstand the worst that Earth could throw at them. Radiation storms, particle beams from solar flares, asteroid impacts. Kreth weapons were powerful, but they could not match the fury of a Deathworld. Shields at 73%. Some minor damage to the outer hull. We are holding, Rachel reported. She sounded excited rather than worried. Return fire. Keep hitting them. Daniel, evasive maneuvers, Jake ordered. The Valiant dove and twisted through space. Daniel flew the ship like it was part of his own body. Human reflexes, evolved to catch fast prey and avoid faster predators, made him impossibly quick. The ship weaved through the Kreth formation. Enemy vessels could not track it, could not predict where it would go next, and everywhere the human ship went, destruction followed. 10 Kreth vessels became 5. 5 became 2. The last survivors fled back toward their main fleet, broadcasting warnings about the human Deathworlders. Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the Volari fleet. It is High Counselor Varen himself. He says, by the ancient stars, you actually came, Lisa reported. She was smiling despite the battle still raging around them. Jake allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. But the fight was far from over. The screening force was broken, but 47 Kreth dreadnoughts still remained. The real battle was just beginning. Tell Counselor Varen that humans keep their promises. Tell him to get his remaining ships to safety. This fight is about to get serious, Jake said. On the Kreth flagship, Supreme Commander Vorath stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 20 destroyers gone, destroyed in less than 15 minutes by a single enemy vessel. It was impossible. It was humiliating. All dreadnoughts focus all fire on the human ship. I want it destroyed. Now, Vorath commanded. The Kreth fleet turned its full attention to the Valiant. Over 300 vessels pointed their weapons at the lone human ship. Energy cannons charged. Missile tubes loaded. The amount of firepower being prepared was enough to destroy a small moon. But humans had faced worse odds before. On their death world, extinction was a constant threat. They had learned to fight back, to adapt, to survive no matter what. Multiple weapons lock detected. "Sir, they are targeting us with everything they have," Lisa said. "Rachel, status on the experimental countermeasures?" Jake asked. The chief engineer grinned. Rachel loved testing new weapons in real combat situations. Chaff system ready. EMP mines deployed. Resonance disruptors fully charged. "This is going to be interesting," Rachel said. "Deploy countermeasures on my mark. Daniel, as soon as the chaff activates, take us straight through their formation," Jake ordered. "Through them, sir? Not around?" Daniel asked. There was excitement in his voice mixed with the natural fear. "Through them. They expect enemies to run away." "We are going to teach them what happens when you face humans," Jake said. The Kreth fleet fired. For a moment, space itself seemed to catch fire. Hundreds of energy beams converged on where the Valiant had been. Missiles followed, their engines leaving trails across the void. "Now, Rachel," Jake commanded. The Valiant seemed to vanish. The chaff system released millions of tiny metal particles. Each one reflected sensor signals. To the Kreth targeting computers, one human ship suddenly became hundreds of targets. Their carefully coordinated attack fell apart as weapons tried to track false signals. Then the EMP mines activated. Electromagnetic pulses washed through the Kreth formation. Shield generators overloaded. Weapon systems shut down. It would only last moments, but moments were enough for humans. "We are clear. Plotting attack vector." "Hold on," Daniel called out. The Valiant accelerated hard, building speed that pushed human endurance to the limit. They screamed through the Kreth formation at velocities that turned other ships into obstacles to be dodged in split seconds. The railguns fired continuously. Kreth dreadnoughts, huge and powerful but slow, could not respond to the human ship agility. One dreadnought exploded as railgun rounds penetrated its reactor. Another lost its command section to a plasma blast. A third collided with its own support ships as it tried desperately to track the human target. Their formation is breaking. The smaller ships are scattering. The dreadnoughts are firing on each other. "Their coordination is completely gone," Lisa reported with satisfaction. Jake watched the tactical display. He saw patterns in the chaos. Humans were pack hunters. They knew how to isolate prey and take it down. "Daniel, target that dreadnought pulling away from the others. We are going to separate it from support and destroy it," Jake ordered. The Valiant dove toward the selected target. The wounded Kreth dreadnought turned to meet them, but Daniel was too fast. The human pilot predicted every move before the enemy made it. They dodged through weapons fire that would have vaporized any other ship. Then Rachel activated the resonance disruptors. Human engineers had discovered a weakness in. The battle raged for 6 hours. 6 hours of constant motion, constant firing, constant danger. The crew of the Valiant fought with everything they had. They were exhausted. Their bodies ached. Their eyes burned from staring at screens. But they did not stop. Jake stood on the bridge, his uniform soaked with sweat. Around him, his crew worked like a single organism. Lisa called out enemy positions. Daniel flew impossible maneuvers. Rachel kept the ship running despite taking hit after hit. They were a pack, and packs protected each other. The Kreth fleet was breaking. What had been a coordinated assault force was now scattered groups of panicking ships. Over half their dreadnoughts were destroyed or disabled. Their smaller vessels had mostly fled. The few that remained were barely fighting back. "Sir, enemy flagship is pulling back. They are moving away from the planet," Lisa reported. "Do not let them escape. We need to make sure they understand what happens when they attack peaceful civilizations," Jake said. The Valiant pursued. It was damaged now, with scars across its hull and several systems running on backup power. But it was still deadly, still dangerous, still crewed by humans who refused to quit. Supreme Commander Vorath sat in his command chair and watched his empire crumbling around him. His fleet, the pride of the Kreth Dominion, was being destroyed by a single enemy vessel. A single ship from a species he had dismissed as primitive and foolish. How was this possible? The Kreth had conquered 12 star systems. They had weapons that could crack planets. They had ships that blotted out suns. Yet here they were, running from one vessel crewed by Deathworlders. "Sir, the human ship is closing on our position. They are targeting us specifically," his tactical officer reported. Vorath felt something he had not experienced in decades. Fear, real, genuine fear. Open a channel to the human captain. Now, he ordered. Jake saw the incoming transmission and nodded to Lisa. The screen changed to show Vorath again, but the Kreth commander looked different now. His posture was lower. His eyes were dimmer. He looked defeated. Captain Morrison, I request parley. We wish to discuss terms, Vorath said. Jake felt a surge of satisfaction. They had done it. One ship had defeated an entire invasion fleet, but he kept his expression neutral. This was not over yet. You may speak, Jake said simply. The Kreth Dominion acknowledges your strength. We did not expect such resistance. We did not know that humans were capable of such ferocity in battle. We underestimated you and we have paid the price, Vorath said carefully. You attacked innocent people. You tried to destroy a peaceful civilization. Why should I accept any terms from you? Jake asked. Because I can order my remaining forces to withdraw now, or I can order them to fight to the death. Many more will die on both sides if we continue. I am offering you victory without further bloodshed. Is that not what you humans value? Protecting life, Vorath said. Jake considered this. The Kreth commander was right. They could keep fighting, but more people would die. The Valari had asked for help and he had provided it. The planet was safe. The invasion was stopped. That was what mattered. Here are my terms. You will withdraw all Kreth forces from this system immediately. You will pay reparations to the Valari for the damage you caused. You will sign a treaty promising never to attack them again, and you will inform all other species in the galaxy what happened here today. You will tell them that humanity protects those who ask for help. You will tell them that predators like you will face consequences. Jake delivered his terms firmly. Vorath was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Your terms are acceptable. The Kreth withdraw, and Captain Morrison, we will indeed tell the galaxy about this day. We will make sure every species knows what happened when the Kreth Dominion faced the humans from Earth. We will make sure they know to fear you, Vorath replied. Good, fear keeps people alive. Fear of consequences stops wars before they start. Now leave the system and never come back, Jake ordered. The transmission ended. Jake turned to his crew. They were all watching him with expressions of awe and pride. All stations cease fire. Let them leave. Daniel, take us to orbit around the Valari homeworld. Lisa, send a message to High Counselor Varen. Tell him the battle is over. Tell him they are safe, Jake said. The bridge erupted in cheers. People hugged each other. Some were crying. They had done the impossible. They had saved an entire civilization. Jake allowed himself a smile. Then he activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the captain. The Kreth fleet is withdrawing. The Valari are safe. You all performed brilliantly today. You showed the galaxy what humans are capable of when we fight for something that matters. I am proud to serve with every single one of you. Well done, Morrison out. His voice carried pride and relief. More cheers echoed through the ship. Jake sat down in his command chair and let out a long breath. They had won. Against all odds, against overwhelming numbers, they had won. But as he looked at the damaged Kreth ships limping away, he knew this was just the beginning. Word would spread. Other species would hear about what happened here. Some would see it as a warning. Others would see it as an invitation. Humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. And the galaxy would never look at them the same way again. 3 hours later, the Valiant limped into orbit around the Valari homeworld. The beautiful blue and green planet turned slowly beneath them. From space, you could barely see the damage from the attempted invasion. The Valari had been lucky. Captain, we have multiple incoming transmissions. High Counselor Varen wants to speak with you. Also, Fleet Admiral Peterson is calling from Earth. And we are getting messages from at least a dozen other alien civilizations, Lisa reported. Jake rubbed his tired eyes. The diplomatic work was just beginning. Put Counselor Varen through first. Then the Admiral. Save the others for later. I need coffee before I deal with diplomats, Jake said. The screen changed to show High Counselor Varen. The Valari leader looked overwhelmed with emotion. His large eyes were wet with tears. Captain Morrison, I do not have words adequate to express our gratitude. You came when we called. You faced impossible odds. You saved my people from destruction. We owe you everything. Varen spoke with deep emotion. You owe us nothing, Counselor. You asked for help, we gave it. That is what friends do, Jake replied. Friends, Yes. Captain, the Volari would be honored to call humanity our friends, our allies. We will stand with you as you stood with us, Varen said. We would be honored to accept that friendship, Counselor. And I think you will find that humans take friendship very seriously. We protect our friends, always, Jake said. After the call ended, Fleet Admiral Peterson appeared on screen. He was an older man with silver hair and sharp eyes. He looked both proud and concerned. Captain Morrison, I received your message about engaging the Kreth fleet. I also received battle reports from your ship. 1 vessel against 47 capital ships. Jake, what were you thinking? Peterson asked with concern. I was thinking that innocent people were dying, sir. I was thinking that the Volari asked for our help specifically. I was thinking that sometimes you have to do what is right, even if it breaks the rules, Jake said honestly. Peterson stared at him for a moment. Then his stern expression cracked into a smile. Well, you certainly got their attention. The Galactic Council is in chaos. Half of them are terrified of humanity now. The other half want to sign defense treaties with us immediately. You have changed everything, Jake. The galaxy will never see humans as weak or primitive again. Peterson smiled. Was that wrong, sir? Jake asked. Wrong? No, Captain. It was exactly what needed to happen. Earth has been trying to earn respect through diplomacy for 20 years. You did it in 6 hours of combat. The President herself sends her congratulations. You and your crew are heroes. Peterson replied. Jake felt relief wash over him. He had been worried about court-martial. Instead, he was being praised. Thank you, sir. What are our orders now? Jake asked. Stay at the Volari homeworld for now. Help them clean up. Coordinate with their engineers to repair your ship. I am sending additional vessels to your position. We are forming a new fleet, Jake. A fleet specifically designed to respond to distress calls like the one from the Volari. And I want you to command it, Peterson explained. Jake felt his breath catch. Command of a fleet. It was an incredible honor. And an incredible responsibility. Sir, I would be honored. What are you calling this fleet? Jake asked. Peterson smiled. The Deathworlder fleet. Because when people are in trouble, when they need help against impossible odds, they will call for the humans. They will call for the ones who come from a world that tried to kill them and failed. They will call for you, Captain. And you will answer, always. Jake nodded slowly. The Deathworlder fleet, it had a good sound to it. A promise and a warning all at once. We will answer, sir. Always. 2 weeks passed. The Valiant stayed in orbit around the Volari homeworld while repairs were made. The Volari engineers worked alongside human crew members, sharing knowledge and building friendships. Every day, more ships arrived from Earth, more volunteers wanting to join the new fleet. Jake stood in the main assembly hall on the Volari planet. It was beautiful, with walls that seemed to glow with inner light and a ceiling so high it felt like standing outdoors. Hundreds of beings filled the space. Volari, humans, and representatives from other species who had heard about the battle. High Counselor Varen stood at the center. His voice carried throughout the hall without any technology. The Volari had gifts that humans were still learning about. Today we gather to honor those who saved our world. 3 weeks ago, the Kreth Dominion came to destroy us. They brought an overwhelming force. They were certain of victory. But they did not account for one thing. They did not account for the humans from Earth. Varen spoke clearly. The crowd murmured in agreement. Jake felt uncomfortable being the center of attention like this. He preferred being on his ship, doing his job. When we sent our distress call, we did not know if anyone would come. The Galactic Council debated while our people died, but Captain Jake Morrison and the crew of the Valiant answered without hesitation. 1 ship against an entire fleet. They came because we asked. Because that is what friends do. Varen continued. Now Varen gestured toward Jake. Captain Morrison, would you please come forward? Jake walked to the center of the hall. Every eye was on him. He saw humans in the crowd, his crew members looking proud. He saw Volari with tears in their eyes. He saw other aliens watching with expressions ranging from respect to fear. Captain Morrison, on behalf of all Volari, I present you with this token. Varen held up a crystal that seemed to contain captured starlight. It is a memory crystal. It contains the recorded thanks of every Volari citizen. Over 10 billion voices saying the same thing. Thank you for our lives. Thank you for our children. Thank you for our future. Jake took the crystal carefully. It was warm to the touch and seemed to pulse gently. I accept this on behalf of my entire crew. They are the real heroes. Every single person on the Valiant did their part. We are honored to be your friends. Jake said sincerely. The hall erupted in applause. But Varen held up a hand for silence. There is more. Today, the Valari Coalition formally proposes the creation of a new alliance. We call it the Coalition of Free Worlds. It will be dedicated to mutual defense, free trade, and the protection of innocent life. Any species that shares these values may join. And we ask that humanity be the founding member alongside us. The murmuring grew louder. This was big news. An entirely new political entity in the galaxy. Ambassador Patricia Grant stepped forward. She was Earth's senior diplomat, a smart woman with decades of experience. On behalf of Earth and humanity, we accept. We will stand with the Valari and any other species that wishes to join this coalition. We will protect the innocent. We will defend against aggression. And we will show the galaxy that strength can be used for good, not just conquest. Patricia spoke with authority. The applause was thunderous now. History was being made. Later that evening, Jake found himself on a balcony overlooking the Valari capital city. The architecture was breathtaking. Buildings seemed to grow from the ground naturally. Lights glowed softly as the sun set. It was peaceful, beautiful. Quite a view, is it not? Jake turned to see Lisa joining him. She had 2 drinks in her hands. Some kind of Valari beverage that tasted like flowers and starlight. It is hard to believe we almost lost all of this, Jake said quietly, but we did not. Because you made the right call. You risked everything to help people who needed it. That took courage, Lisa replied. I just did what felt right. What humans have always done when friends needed help, Jake said. They stood in comfortable silence for a while, watching the city lights come alive. So, the Deathworlder fleet. Think you are ready to command multiple ships instead of just one? Lisa asked with a smile. I have no idea. But I will learn. We all will. This is new territory for humanity. We are not just part of the galactic community anymore. We are leaders, protectors. That is a big responsibility, Jake admitted. We can handle it. Look what one ship accomplished. Imagine what we can do with a whole fleet, with allies from across the galaxy. We are going to change things, Jake, for the better, Lisa said confidently. Jake nodded. She was right. The battle at Valaris had been just the beginning. Now they had a chance to build something new. Something better, an alliance based on friendship and mutual protection, not fear and domination. Have you seen the recruitment numbers from Earth? Lisa asked. I heard they were high. How high? Over 10,000 volunteers in the first week. Everyone wants to join the Deathworlder fleet. They want to be part of what we started here. Young people who heard about the battle and wanted to make a difference, Lisa explained. Jake felt a mix of pride and concern. That was a lot of responsibility. A lot of lives depending on good leadership. We will have to train them well. Make sure they understand what we are really about. We are not conquerors. We are protectors. There is a difference, Jake said firmly. They will learn. They have good role models. You showed them how to be strong without being cruel. How to win without losing your humanity. That is important. Lisa agreed. A chime sounded from Jake's communicator. He checked it and smiled. What is it? Lisa asked. Message from Admiral Peterson. The first 3 ships of the new fleet just launched from Earth. They will be here in a week. We are officially in business. Jake shared the news. What are the ship names? Lisa inquired. Jake read from the message. The Earth Defense Ships Guardian, Defender, and Sentinel. Good names. Names that show what we stand for. Perfect names for a perfect mission. So what happens now? Lisa wondered. Jake looked out at the Valari city, then up at the stars appearing in the darkening sky. Now we get ready. Because somewhere out there, someone else is going to need help. Another distress call will come. And when it does, we will answer. The Deathworlder fleet will come. And we will show them what humans do best. We survive. We protect. And we never ever give up. Lisa raised her glass. Jake did the same. To the Deathworlder fleet. May we always answer the call? To the Deathworlder fleet. Jake echoed. They drank together as the stars came out above them. Somewhere in those stars were people who would need help someday, and now there were humans ready to provide it. Ready to face impossible odds, ready to do what was right no matter the cost. The galaxy had changed, and humanity had changed it. From a young species barely noticed by others, they had become something more. Protectors, heroes, friends to those who needed them most. And it all started with one ship answering a desperate call for help. Jake finished his drink and headed back inside. Tomorrow there would be meetings, training schedules, diplomatic negotiations, all the work of building something new. But tonight he allowed himself to feel satisfied. They had done good work, saved lives, made friends, started something important, and that was enough. 6 months later, the Deathworlder fleet was fully operational. 12 ships now patrolled Coalition space, ready to respond to any threat. Jake commanded from the rebuilt and upgraded Valiant, which served as the fleet flagship. The coalition of free worlds had grown too. 23 species had joined, all committed to mutual defense and protection of the innocent. The Galactic Council watched nervously as this new power block formed. Some saw it as a threat. Others saw it as hope. Jake sat in his ready room reviewing reports. The fleet had responded to 7 different situations so far. A pirate attack on a trade convoy, a natural disaster requiring evacuation, a territorial dispute that threatened to become a war. Each time, the Deathworlder fleet had arrived and resolved the situation. The galaxy was learning that humans meant what they said. When you called for help, they came. No matter what. A chime at his door interrupted his reading. "Come in," Jake responded. Lisa entered, followed by Daniel and Rachel. They all looked excited about something. "Sir, you need to see this. We just received a message from a species called the Tauren. They live on the far edge of Coalition space." Lisa explained. "What is the situation?" Jake asked. "They are being threatened by a warlord named Krell. He has a small fleet, maybe 10 ships, and he is demanding tribute. If the Tauren do not pay, he says he will attack their orbital stations. They have asked for our help." Lisa provided the details. Jake stood up and walked to his window. He could see the other ships of the fleet in formation around the Valiant. Good ships, good crews, all ready to do what was needed. "How far away are they?" Jake inquired. 3 days at slipstream speed. "Sir, the Tauren are peaceful people. They have no military. If Krell attacks, they will be defenseless," Daniel added urgently. Jake made his decision quickly. This was exactly the kind of situation the fleet was created for. Send a message to the Tauren. Tell them help is coming. Then notify all fleet captains. We deploy in 1 hour. And somebody send a message to this Krell character. Tell him that the Tauren are under Coalition protection now. Tell him to leave them alone," Jake ordered with authority. Rachel grinned. She loved this part of the job. "Oh, I bet he's going to love hearing from the Deathworlder fleet. These warlords never learn, do they? Hopefully this one will learn without a fight. But if not, we will teach him," Jake replied. 1 hour later, the 12 ships of the Deathworlder fleet entered slipstream space. They moved as a coordinated unit, a demonstration of human organizational skill and discipline. Where one ship had once made a difference, now they had 12. 12 ships full of humans ready to protect the innocent. Krell the Warlord received the message from the Deathworlder fleet with amusement. Humans? The species everyone was suddenly afraid of? He had heard the stories about Valaris, but he dismissed them as exaggeration. No single species could be that dangerous. Besides, he had 10 good ships and a crew of experienced fighters. Let these humans come. He would show them what happened to those who interfered with his business. 3 days later, the Deathworlder fleet arrived at the Tauren system. The orbital stations hung peacefully above their home world. Krell's ships were there too, arrayed in a threatening formation. Jake opened a channel to the warlord. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Deathworlder fleet. You are hereby ordered to leave the system immediately. The Tauren are under Coalition protection. If you attack them, you attack us." Krell appeared on screen. He was a large being with thick scales and multiple eyes. He sneered at Jake. "You think you can intimidate me with your reputation? I have been raiding systems for 20 years. I do not fear some humans from a primitive world. Leave now, or I will add your ships to my collection." Jake sighed. Why did they always have to do this the hard way? Very well. You have been warned. All fleet units, weapons free. Show this pirate what happens when you threaten innocent people. The battle was over in minutes. 12 human ships against 10 pirate vessels. It was not even close. The pirates had numbers, but humans had training, technology, and most importantly, purpose. They fought for something bigger than themselves. Krell's flagship was disabled by precision fire from the Valiant. His other ships tried to flee, but the Deathworlder fleet had them surrounded. One by one they surrendered. Jake opened a channel to Krell again. The warlord looked much less confident now. Your fleet is disabled. Your crew is in custody. You have a choice now. You can face trial for piracy and extortion, Or you can give me information. Tell me about other warlords operating in this region. Help us protect innocent people, and I will speak on your behalf at your trial. Krell considered this. His career as a warlord was over either way. At least this way he might get a lighter sentence. There are 3 other warlords operating near Coalition space. I can give you their locations, their ship configurations, everything. But you must keep your word about speaking at my trial. I always keep my word, Jake said simply. The information Krell provided led to 3 more operations over the next month. Each time the Deathworlder fleet arrived and quickly overwhelmed the pirates. Word spread fast. The human fleet did not just respond to threats. They hunted down those who preyed on the weak. Piracy in Coalition space dropped by 70% in just 3 months. It was not worth the risk anymore. The humans would come and the humans would win. But not everyone in the galaxy was happy about this. In the chambers of the Galactic Council, debate raged about what to do about humanity and their coalition. Counselor Drax of the Zoran hegemony stood before the assembly. The Zoran were an old species, used to being one of the dominant powers. This coalition of free worlds is growing too powerful too quickly. Humanity has created a military force that answers to no one but themselves. They enforce their own justice without council approval. This is dangerous. Counselor Varen of the Valari responded calmly. The coalition is not a threat to peace. It is a guarantee of peace. For too long, we have sat in these chambers and debated while innocent people suffered. The humans showed us another way. They showed us that strength can protect instead of conquer. That is why 23 species have joined them willingly. Drax hissed in frustration. Today it is 23 species. Tomorrow it could be 50. The humans are building an empire. A new voice entered the debate. Ambassador Patricia Grant stood at the human delegation podium. She had been waiting for this moment. Counselor Drax, let me be very clear. Humanity is not building an empire. We do not want your planets. We do not want your resources. We want only one thing. We want people to be safe. We want civilizations to thrive without fear of conquest or destruction. If that threatens you, then perhaps you should ask yourself why. The chamber fell silent. Patricia continued. The coalition of free worlds is open to any species that shares our values. Mutual defense, free trade, protection of the innocent. If the Galactic Council wishes to join us, you are welcome. If you wish to continue debating while people die, that is your choice. But do not mistake our kindness for weakness. Do not mistake our protection of others as a threat to you, unless you plan to attack the innocent. In which case, yes, we will be a threat to you. Drax had no response. The ambassador had made her point perfectly. Back on the Valiant, Jake watched a recording of the council session. Patricia had handled it brilliantly. She had put the council on notice without starting a war. Diplomacy and strength working together. She is good, Lisa commented. She was watching the recording with him. The best. Earth sent their finest. We are going to need people like her as the coalition grows. Not every problem can be solved with warships. Jake agreed. Speaking of which, I heard we are getting 6 more ships next month. The fleet is doubling in size. Lisa mentioned, we are going to need them. Every week we get more requests for help. The galaxy is learning that they can call on us, that we will come when needed. That is both good and challenging. Jake observed. An alert sounded. Both officers immediately checked their displays. New distress signal. Lisa reported. A colony world called New Haven. They are under attack by raiders. Jake stood up and headed for the bridge. This was what they did. This was who they were. How long to get there? 2 days at maximum speed, then let us go. Send the siege. Tell them help is coming, always. 1 year after the Battle of Valaris, Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Valiant and looked at the tactical display. The Deathworlder fleet had grown to 24 ships. 24 vessels crewed by humans and their allies, all dedicated to protecting the innocent. The coalition of free worlds now included 42 species. What had started as a desperate alliance between humans and Valari had become a major force in galactic politics. And it was all built on a simple principle. When someone asked for help, you answered. Today was special. Today the coalition was holding its first anniversary celebration at the Valari homeworld. Representatives from all member species would be there. It was a chance to reflect on what they had accomplished and plan for the future. But first, there was one more mission to complete. Captain, we are receiving another distress call. Lisa reported from her station. This one is different though. Different how? Jake asked. It is from the Kreth Dominion, specifically from Supreme Commander Vorath himself. Jake felt surprise. The Kreth? The same species that had attacked the Volari a year ago? What could they possibly want? Put it through. Vorath appeared on screen. He looked older now and tired. His compound eyes no longer held the arrogance Jake remembered from their first meeting. Captain Morrison. I know I have no right to ask this. I know what my people did to the Volari, but I am asking anyway. We need help. Jake kept his expression neutral. Explain. A plague has struck our homeworld. It is killing thousands every day. Our medical technology cannot stop it. We have asked other species for help, but no one will assist the Kreth. We are paying for our past sins. But Captain, our children are dying. Innocent children who had nothing to do with our wars of conquest. Please, I am begging you. The bridge went silent. Everyone was looking at Jake, waiting to see what he would do. The Kreth had tried to destroy the Volari. They had killed innocent people. They deserve no mercy. But Jake thought about what the Deathworlder fleet really stood for. They protected the innocent, and children were always innocent no matter who their parents were. How long do we have? Jake asked. Days. Maybe a week before the plague spreads beyond control. Vorath said quietly. Jake made his decision. We will come. Prepare to receive medical teams and supplies. And Commander Vorath, this does not erase what your people did. But we will not let children die because of their parents' mistakes. That is not who we are, Vorath bowed his head. Thank you, Captain. You are more merciful than we deserve. After the transmission ended, Lisa spoke up. Sir, the Kreth tried to destroy an entire civilization. Are we really going to help them? Jake turned to face his crew. Yes, we are. Because if we only help people we like, if we only save those we think deserve it, then we are no better than the conquerors and bullies. The Deathworlder fleet exists to protect innocent life. All innocent life. Even when it is hard. Even when it feels wrong. That is what makes us different. Rachel spoke up from engineering. The captain is right. Those Kreth children did not choose to be born into an empire. They did not choose their leader's actions. They are just kids who are sick and scared. We have to help. Daniel nodded in agreement. Besides, maybe this will show the Kreth that there is another way, that you do not have to conquer to be strong, that mercy is its own kind of power. Jake felt proud of his crew. They understood all hands battle stations, not for combat but for rescue. Medical teams prepare for deployment. Engineering. I want every medical supply we have ready to transport. We are going to save lives today. As many as we can. The Valiant and 5 other ships from the fleet jumped to Slipstream. They left the others to continue their patrols. This mission required speed and medical expertise more than firepower. 2 days later, they arrived at the Kreth homeworld. The planet looked sick from space. Orbital scans showed massive population centers going dark as the plague spread. It was worse than Vorath had described. Jake coordinated with Kreth medical authorities. Human doctors and scientists worked alongside Kreth physicians, sharing knowledge and resources. The plague was biological, something the Kreth had accidentally created in a weapons laboratory. It had escaped and was now killing its creators. Rachel worked with Kreth engineers to modify their hospital equipment to human medical standards. Lisa coordinated the distribution of medicine and supplies. Daniel flew shuttle after shuttle, delivering aid to remote areas, and Jake watched it all, making decisions, solving problems, keeping everyone focused. On the 3rd day, human scientists made a breakthrough. They found a treatment that could stop the plague. It required a combination of human and Kreth medicine, something neither species could have developed alone. Within a week, the plague was under control. Within 2 weeks, it was eliminated. Millions of lives had been saved. Kreth children would grow up because humans had chosen to help instead of seeking revenge. Vorath met Jake one final time before the fleet departed. Captain Morrison, my people owe you a debt that can never be repaid. You saved us when no one else would, when we deserved to be abandoned. Why? Jake thought about how to answer that. Because that is what humans do. We help, we protect. We save lives, not because people deserve it, but because it is the right thing to do. Your empire conquered and destroyed, but maybe your children will build something better. Maybe they will learn from your mistakes and choose a different path. Vorath nodded slowly. You have given us more than medicine, Captain. You have given us hope. Hope that we can change, that we can be better. Then do not waste it. Jake said firmly. Join the coalition of free worlds. Not as conquerors, but as equals. Help us protect the innocent instead of preying on them. Show the galaxy that the Kreth can change. I will speak to our council. I cannot promise they will listen, but I will try. Forreth said that is all anyone can ask. Jake replied. As the fleet departed, Lisa joined Jake on the bridge. Do you think they will really change? The Kreth, I do not know. But we gave them a chance. Sometimes that is all people need. A chance to choose a better path. Jake said thoughtfully. We almost did not come. A lot of people would have said the Kreth deserved what they got. Lisa observed maybe they did. But their children did not. And if we had let them die out of revenge or pride, we would have been no better than the tyrants we fight against. Being strong means doing the right thing even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard, Lisa smiled. That is why you are the captain. You always know the right thing to do. Jake shook his head. I just try to remember what we are fighting for. We are not here to punish the wicked. We are here to protect the innocent. Sometimes those things overlap, but sometimes they do not. Today they did not. The fleet arrived at the Valari homeworld that evening. The anniversary celebration was in full swing. Music filled the air. Representatives from dozens of species mingled together. Humans danced with Valari. Former enemies shared food and laughter. Jake watched from a balcony, taking it all in. 1 year ago, he had made a choice to answer a distress call. That choice had changed everything. Not just for him or his crew, but for the entire galaxy. High Counselor Varen found him there. Captain Morrison, you should be down there celebrating. You are the hero of the hour. Again. I heard what you did for the Kreth. I am not comfortable with crowds, Jake admitted. Varen laughed, a musical sound. Still, after everything you have accomplished, you remain humble. That is very human, I think, just practical. There is too much work to do to waste time on celebrations, Jake said. But there must be time to appreciate what has been accomplished. 1 year ago, the Valari faced extinction. Today we are part of the largest voluntary alliance in galactic history. 42 species working together, protecting each other. All because you answered when we called. It was not just me. It was my entire crew. It was every human who volunteered for the Deathworlder fleet. It was the Valari who were brave enough to call for help. It was all of us together, Jake insisted. Varen placed a gentle hand on Jake's shoulder. Yes, but someone had to be first. Someone had to take that first step. That was you, Captain. Never forget that. Your choice to help strangers, to risk everything for people you barely knew, that showed the galaxy what humanity truly is. And now look what has grown from that single act of courage. Jake looked out at the celebration below. Humans and aliens working together, former enemies becoming friends. A galaxy that was slowly learning that there was another way besides conquest and fear. I just hope we can keep this going. Keep answering when people call. Keep protecting those who need it. Jake said quietly, You will, because that is who humans are. That is what Deathworlders do. You survive. You protect. You never give up. And now the whole galaxy knows it. Later that night, Jake stood on the bridge of the Valiant. The ship was in orbit, ready for whatever came next. Because there would always be a next mission. Another distress call. Another group of people needing help. Lisa, Daniel, and Rachel were there with him as always. So what now, Captain? Rachel asked. Now we wait. Someone out there will need us, and when they call, we will answer. Jake said simply, Always. Daniel added, Always. Jake agreed. The Deathworlder fleet had changed the galaxy. Not through conquest, but through protection. Not through fear, but through friendship. They had shown that strength could be used to help rather than hurt. That the strong had a duty to protect the weak, and somewhere,